Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This video is meant for the audience that thinks that the European Union is part of the free world, the so-called free world. And for those who are pro-Europeans in Romania mainly. I will bring you some evidence, clear evidence, that there's tyranny, legal tyranny, and censorship, criminal censorship in the European Union. And I'm not kidding. It's straight right here out of this article. Let me show you. This article comes from The Liars, right? Russia Today. Correct? Correct. 30th of May 2025. So yesterday, European Union state sentences teacher for pro-Russian views. Okay, now, if you just stop there, it's a state, member state of the European Union, which champions itself as being the protector, promoter, defender of human rights, diversity, non-discrimination, all that, say no to racism, xenophobia, and all the good things, right? But here, the state, one state, sentences a teacher to jail and then suspends it for pro-Russian views. Is that illegal? And if it's illegal, why is it illegal? Remember, for those people who right now said, this guy is crazy right there, for obvious reasons. Well, I give you this. I hope the same thing happens to you when someone else comes in power and other things are acceptable and others they deem unacceptable. And you go to jail, or a loved one, like your child, or your mom, your dad, and see how you like that. So remember, that's the whole point with the freedom of speech. I can have how many pro-whatever views I am allowed to have, if I'm a free human being, as they tell us. That's the starting point. Because what they do to that person can do it to you when they will think that your position towards, let's say, COVID is the wrong one. Or I know, pro-Ukraine. Tomorrow could be pro-Ukraine. Views could be, criminal. This is the European Union that we want to be in. I think the sooner this European Union disintegrates or restructures, the better for its citizens or the people living under this tyrannical regime. So let's look at the details. Martina Bednarova had been given a suspended jail term in Czech Republic. That means she was charged and convicted. They suspended just the punishment in Czech Republic for calling Moscow's military action justified. So because she said something that some people disagree with, she was given a suspended jail term. So that means that, let's start from the beginning. Let's say the Russian invasion, military action in Ukraine was not justified. And the Russians invaded. You are Czech Republic. You're not Ukraine. Now, let's say it was unjustified. And someone in the European Union says, well, it's justified. On what kind of principle you will arrest this person, you will give a sentence? Promoting what exactly? War? Lying? To other countries? Let's say tomorrow, Bangladesh and Bhutan, let's say, they get in a war. And you say, well, I think that Bangladesh's invasion of Bhutan or the other way around is justified. Do you think that the European Union will arrest anybody for that statement? No. And you will not be charged with promoting the war, nothing like that. If I right now go outside and say, you know what? I think that, I'm just saying, Germany in the Second World War were pushed into a war with these guys by forces behind the scenes. You can say, well, where's your evidence? That would be a free person's interaction. What's your evidence? And I will bring my evidence, and you're gonna bring your evidence, and together we learn. And we'll reach a conclusion together. Your evidence, your information, mine, and we're gonna verify it if it's true and valid. It's a process, but I'm not gonna say no, I'm gonna jail you for saying that. That's not how you do it. And even if I say, yes, I agree with you, but I still say it, would you jail me? Let's say tomorrow I say, there's no moon. There's no moon. The moon doesn't exist. Or people who think the Earth is flat. Would you arrest them? I mean, if tomorrow I say, these glasses are non-existent, there's no glass, it's a pair of bicycles. Would you arrest me for lying? For being misguided? For promoting something else? Remember, just because it's Ukraine, if this would be in Bangladesh, or let's say the same teacher would say, I think that Israel's attack on Gaza is justified. Do you think she would be arrested? No, because everybody knows that Israel's in Gaza was justified by October 7th attacks. Correct? Correct. Now, if you say the other way around, should be arrested? If you say, well, I think it was unjustified. Let's say, are you arrested for that? Remember, if you say yes, I hope from the bottom of my cock that something like this will happen to you. I mean, if you like it, then you would like it to be applied to you. In the same way, this is dangerous. Let's read what else. So, for saying is justified, she got charged. And this is the European Union, you one, pro-European. I'm pro-European. That, remember, Czech Republic is a European Union member state. That is, it has to abide by some laws, regulations. Remember when Orban banned the gay parades? He just did. But not he himself. It was the parliament. I think they also had a referendum. And they said no more gay parades. That's it. The European Union said what? Immediately they jumped in and said, we're going to fuck you up. We're going to sanction you. We will withhold funds from our bankers to you. That's a blackmail right there. Why? Because we think that you did something that runs against the European Union free world's values. But in this case, that's okay. Remember, justice is not preferential or situational. You can't call a rape, bad today, but tomorrow if someone else does it, you call it differently. It is bad, the act, regardless who gets into it. Who's the aggressor? Here, it's preferential here. Now, that's not justice. Do you want to live in that kind of society? Then what's the difference between that one and the evil Russians? As people say, oh, are you pro-Russian? What's the difference? I would like to hear. If these guys are blackmail you because you don't uphold the rights to, snip your balls, for instance, or limit other countries' access with their information, they call it propaganda. On the European Union, they protect you. I don't want to be protected by you in the information realm. I don't want mommy and daddy. I think I'm smarter than you. I think I'm smarter than the guys in Brussels. I don't need them. After a while, what do they do all day? Drink cocktails and talk shit? What do you think those guys in the Brussels do? Do you think are like you and I? Reading every day? Paying attention to every little thing that happens on this planet that we can get on with according to our time? Do you think those guys are better informed than you and I? I don't think so at all. What have they been doing, let's say, for 20 years? Let's say Maria Callas, what's her name? Kaya Callas, I call her Maria Callas, the tenor, Jesus Christ, the soprano. Maybe she was a tenor, whatever. So, okay, let's say Maria Callas, the former Prime Minister of Estonia. She's like 40-something. What do you think she did in the past 20 years? Do you think she read books like every day, 6 hours a day? Do you think she watched things? She watched lectures, debates, learned? Or she was busy in going to meetings and meeting people and making connections, how do you think she got over there? Do you think she was in a cave somewhere studying like Miyamoto Musashi? Or do you think she was fucking around? I'm not saying like that, fucking around with people to get connected. And when you're busy with that, do you think she went to the bathroom to take a piss? She has a book over there with, I don't know, Plato or Aristotle? Or do you think she takes a shit in the bathroom? She has the book over there? When do you think she read? When do you think she's got her knowledge? When? When she was so busy with her public persona. The same. Don't look at these guys that are knowing anything. When do they have time? That's why once you graduated and you go into work, you're going to be too tired, not necessarily, to study, to get informed. If you have that kind of life that allows you, that's fantastic. But this is the strata of that society that has this luxury. I can 24/7 read. I can 24/7 inform myself from as many sources as these guys allow me to have. How about Trump? How do you think Trump is briefed? He's briefed by his advisors. Who doing what? Do you think they stay in front of a computer and they read news and they brief him? What kind of knowledge do you think they have? Who are those guys who are staying and then they brief and they brief and they brief? They're not informed. They are not informed or poorly informed. So the same, these are the people. Let's read further. A Czech court has handed a former teacher, a 7-month suspended sentence for expressing pro-Russian views during a school lessons, local media reported on Thursday. Martina Bednarova was also banned from teaching for 3 years and ordered to complete a media literacy course, according to the Czech Justice News portal. The court reportedly said Bednarova misused her role by presenting misleading information to students. Do you think that history that is taught in the school is not misleading? Do you think there's not a lot of lies over there? I mean, please, lies by interpretation, lies by omission, pick and choose. We call it, let's say, how the United States of America purchased that's half of Mexico with the Mexican-American War. They say, well, we just purchased it. No, it was not. It's like I show up to your house, I beat the fuck out of you, I have a big gun, put it in your eye, and say, now you sell me your Lamborghini. And you say, okay. That's how it... American troops were in Mexico City when it was purchased. Got it? Half of it taken. So you tell, is that portrayed that way? It's portrayed by Howard Zinn, why I'm pointing over there because I have a book, People's History of the United States of America, by Howard Zinn, the historian, Jewish historian, anarchist, right? When they tell you how it was purchased. Until then, it was just purchased. I give you the money. It was mutual. But I held a gun like that. That's misled information. Remember the COVID? Do you remember the COVID times? Do you think the media lied to us? Do you think the media misinformed, disinformed us? Do you think the media knowingly lied to us, which is obviously disinformation? Are the media still operating? Like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, they're still there. Nobody was charged and convicted for lying, misleading. They told us about the masks, remember? They told about this, about distancing, about all these things. Remember those things? Yeah, you remember those. I'm listening. It's like that. Actions, we're taught, have consequences for some. Now, that's the justice in the free world. Fuck off. All right? So, again, this is what's going on with these guys. It's, oh my God, it's just pro-Russian. Should it be allowed? Was Putin convicted of a war crime yet? Was he convicted? No, he's innocent. If you think that's not true, then anyone who can claim anything and accuse you of something, you are already that person. So if someone says you're a rapist, you are because someone said that? No, it has to be proven. And if it's not proven, if I'm wrong, then I might have to pay some penalties for false claims and accusations. Correct? Correct. So everybody says Putin is the war criminal. How? Show me. Oh, because they said this, I mean like that. I can look at Bill Clinton. I say he's a war criminal. I can go to George Bush. I can go to Sir, what's his name? That weasel, Prime Minister of Great Britain. Now he's a Sir, whatever his fucking name was, with Bush together. You remember? I can go to Obama, war criminal, Libya, remember? I can go to Hillary Clinton, Tony Blair. Okay? I can call Biden with Ukraine, war criminal. I can call anybody of these guys, but hey, and many others who did worse things than before. Remember the Vietnam War? All that was caused by a lie. Gulf of Tonkin. Remember what that is? Who was the president then? I'm listening. With the Gulf of Tonkin that we destroyed, they destroyed. Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. Illegally. And you tell me about misinformation and disinformation? I mean, are we for the truth? Easily, or we just pick and choose right here? And remember, if you're for that, if you are, oh my God, the European Union, I hope this will hurt you directly. Hurt you in a way, you're going to be in a situation where someone's going to accuse you, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be charged, you're going to be convicted, you're going to be thrown in jail, and you say, where's the evidence? And they will say, we don't need evidence. We don't like what you said. That's it. And remember when you agreed with that one? Because someone said something that the government did not like. You agreed with the government then, but now apply to you, you don't. Animals are reacting like that. They're not really anticipating. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. An animal reacts only when it hurts. Or it rarely says, okay, now I'm going to do this and I'm going to do and if I do that, could happen that. And very small children are incapable of a second move, planning the second move. So when you react only when it hurts you personally, what kind of lobe you have, the frontal lobe? 0. Click, click, click is 0. That means, as Albert Einstein said one day, allegedly, for more than 99% of the human population, the backbone was sufficient for them to survive, to be alive. This is extra, is an appendix, 0, has no value. They don't use it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.